All right, let's get our guest speaker up here. Guys, ladies, gentlemen, for those that don't know who he is, he's an actor. He was a bartender in Hollywood area and acting down in the Hollywood area. He's a father and a dad. Matter of fact, last week we showed 4 pictures of him and his daughter. He takes her on all the trips we go on. Man, that girl, I tell you what, she's probably got that passport stamp quite a bit. She might need to get a new passport for the upcoming years. He's one of my favorite trainers. I'll say that again. He's one of my favorite trainers. He's a COC. Without further ado, let's give a warm welcome to none other than Regional Vice President Platinum, Circle of Champions influencer, Mr. Dean Tarrolly.
What's up, everybody? So, man, all right, let's roll. That's a word you guys are going to hear me say today a bit. So let's roll. Here we go. So, Mr. T, obviously, as always, thank you so much for having me. It's super humbling. It's been so long, so many years of doing this call every other month on Thursdays, and you know, you guys, full disclosure, I mean, I've talked to Al, you know, outside of this call. And I mean, I've even said to him, like, Al, you know, I'm giving people everything I got, but they've gotten a lot of stuff over the course of these years. And it's like, I want to make sure that I'm still bringing value to people on a Thursday morning for a half an hour or 40 minutes or whatever amount of time we have together. So, you know, I want you guys to know that no matter what level you are at in ACN, you're always going to be looking to people that have been around longer than you, that maybe have some more experience than you, and that's a safe place to be, right? So, okay, well, listen, Mr. T, I appreciate you and your friendship and your mentorship and the conversation we had just a couple weeks ago. So, anyway, you guys, you're very. I consider myself, and I would consider you all very lucky and fortunate to have a platform where someone who does not have a financial interest in a lot of the people on this call puts this call together for everybody, hopefully to you know, raise the tide up, right? A rising tide lifts all ships. So, you know, that's the idea here, and it's because of the person who runs and hosts this call, Mr. Thomas. So thank you, sir. I got to get something clear with this group. I want to make sure I got this right. Jamar, it says RD Jamar Sharp. It was not RC. You just promoted a regional director, right? Dude, that's legit, right? Like, let's have a conversation about this for a second. I almost just said a bad word. I look, we need to have a conversation about this, everybody. Like, no joke, dude. I'm not trying to like get you to blush, but I might. So here's the thing, you guys. That's no joke. Going regional director in ACN is no freaking joke, man. Like, that's legit. And by the way, guess what it guarantees you? It freaking guarantees you nothing. But it puts you in a position based on your performance in it's a completely different ACN. You go regional, listen, ETL is great. Regional coordinator is great. Regional director is no freaking joke, man. Like, I'm telling you, everything changes. The conversations change. Your circle changes. You're in a, Roxanne's nodding her head. I remember so clearly when she went regional director. Listen, I didn't make the rules, but your circle changes when you go regional director. There are things. When you go regional director, there are things that are assumed by the other regional directors and higher that you know, that you understand, that you can do, that you can implement, right? I'm just telling you guys, it is a line in the sand. I don't care what anybody says. I'm just going to tell you how it is. When you go regional coordinator to regional director, it is different. And the compensation plan will reward you as such. And the reason why most people listen, the reason why most people don't go regional director, they do not truly understand the reward that waits for them when they produce at that position. So y'all can just close your ears because I'm just telling this to Jamar directly. So you guys can just not listen to this part. Jamar, welcome to the club. Welcome to the club. By the way, obviously, it is deserved and it is earned because you saw it through. And how great is it to be in a call with a team that does what they said they were going to do and they follow through. And now here's the thing, Jamar, you're proof. You're proof. So when Al rips those freaking names off at the beginning of every one of his calls, no matter who's the guest speaker, he's like, let's start. Hey, good morning, 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 good morning. Let's start. Who are the RDs that are on the call? And your name is on that list. Let me tell you, from me to you in front of everybody else, well done. Well done. And thank you for being proof that the system works if you make a choice to do it and you're willing to work. And I'm going to talk about that today. So Jamar, well done, man. So here's what I want to talk to you guys about. And today's not going to be super long, but there's a couple things that I think are important. And, you know, I'll tell you, it's a little bit unnerving that, you know, Mr. Thomas asked everybody what we talked about last week, because you guys know I'll always reference what we had spoken about the previous week. And there it is right in my notes from 11/12. What you doing? Right. And he was the only one who said it. That's telling. Jamar not included. That's telling. By the way, I know for a fact Roxanne and Ray not included because I know that they've been doing stuff because I've been working with them. But what you doing? And for Al to say, hey, what did Dean talk about last week? To not be able to have and reference that in your notes, it tells me one of two things. Either people weren't taking notes, which I think is crazy. Not because I'm so great, but because information, you guys, you've heard me say this a million times. It's such a silly joke, but we can't remember a list of 5 things at the grocery store. We come back with 4 and we left the bread or the eggs, or we forgot to bring the vinegar or whatever. And now you're going to commit a business to memory? That's nuts. So last week we talked about what you doing. You know, that we talked about ACN not being a job. We talked about the co-founders called this from day one, the ACN what? They called it the ACN what? Opportunity. Thank you. And what most people don't realize it, and what they do, because they don't value the opportunity, they tend not to work the opportunity. So what I want to talk about today is knowing your role. Today is about knowing your role in advancing your business. Because Al says it's at the end. I don't know when we started that. Move your business forward. But you guys, we're on this call to advance our businesses. Yes or no? You guys, we're not trying to be on a stationary bike. We're trying to get somewhere. So you got to know your role. And you know, I can use Jamar as an example. Where I don't know Jamar's business. I don't know everything that's going on, but I know he's a regional director. And to advance your business, you have to know your role. And one of the mistakes that people make is that when they start moving through the compensation plan, they think like, you know, and now I'm a regional coordinator, I'm a regional director, I'm a regional vice president. Now I'm going to guide and mentor and teach all of my team, right? Well, there's a part of that you should do. There's no question about it. But if you think that's all you do, you are sadly mistaken. Everybody at every position can play every role in ACN. You know, I'm not going to do a whole thing on phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, and phase 4, but if you don't know what those 4 phases are, I'll see you in Orlando. Right? Regardless of the position you hold in ACN, there's nothing more important than being in phase 1. The greatest thing that could happen to Jamar as a newly promoted regional director, in my opinion, and I'm not trying to, you know, take the steam out of his upline and telling them what to do. Jamar, let me just tell you this. I don't even know who is upline for you. Okay, Mr. Thomas is. So guess what you do? You listen to Mr. Thomas. But I know that I feel very confident in what I'm going to say. Mr. Thomas and I are on the same page. The single greatest thing that can happen to you as a regional director is you start a brand new team. You start a brand new group. You start a whole new leg. Because guess what, you guys? Listen to me. Listen up. Freaking listen up. He starts a new leg. Guess what? A new person gets qualified. He's getting paid as the ETL. He's getting paid as the regional coordinator, and he's getting paid as the regional director. He's making $250 every time someone gets qualified in that new team. You got to be kidding me. He does a decent home meeting. 10 people are there. 3 people sign up. Those people get qualified. He makes $750 that night. And he's going to do the exact same thing with those same 3 people. Give me a freaking break. There is a ton of money in the comp plan if people understand it. And when you get to regional director, you get to unlock that comp plan. But you have to know your role. What if Jamar didn't do that? Hey, man, I'm regional director. Hey, Joe, what's going on in your team? Hey, Frank, what's going on in your team? Hey, Sarah, what's going on in your team? Hey, have you done this? Have you done that? Are you doing this? Are you doing that? He needs to do that with 15% of his time, with 20% of his time. And the other 80% of his time or 75% of his time is in personal phase 1 team building. You guys. And by the way, and I'm not going to go into a whole conversation about this because some people are advanced enough and some people really aren't. And that's that's just how long you've been in the business. But I am telling you guys right now, the way that the compensation plan has changed, anybody personal, I would go wide. And then with the people that are in there, you build deep. You taproot. Who do you know? But if it's your personal business, I would go wide. I mean, I don't know if you agree with that, Mr. Thomas, but the way that okay, cool. We're on the same page. I figured we would. Anyway, so the deal is this. You got to know your role. You got to know your role in every circumstance. I'm going to give you another example from 2 people on my team that are actually on this call. So Ray Caldwell is on the verge of becoming a regional director. And I want to tell you guys that I have had a lot of very direct conversations, maybe a side of my personality that maybe people aren't familiar with, which is okay. That's all right. And there've been very direct conversations, but I owe that conversation to Ray because if I do not have this conversation, he is in danger of not advancing his skill set so he can take advantage of the position that he's about to hit. Look, you go regional director in management mode, enjoy it while it lasts because it's not going to hang around. And here's why. Remember that I said this. The people that helped you get promoted to executive team leader are not the same people that are going to help you get promoted to regional coordinator. And the people that helped you get to regional coordinator are not the same people that are going to help you get promoted to regional director. And the people that got you to regional director, Mr. Sharp, Ms. Corlejo, and the others that are on this call, they are probably not going to be the same people that are going to help you get promoted to regional vice president. People go, well, God, that's a bummer. Look, people are who they are. They do what they do. Now, can some of them stick around? Sure, absolutely. But is there a guarantee? Absolutely not. The one guarantee is your activity and your skill set. That is a guarantee. You guys think about it like this. Al Thomas decides, let me think. Al Thomas decides Spokane, Washington. Now, why would I say that? Because Al Thomas, if he chose to pick up and leave Las Vegas, Nevada, be in Spokane, Washington for the next 6 to 8 months, I'm telling you, he'll have a meeting there. Now, look, Al, I have no idea if you have a freaking team in Spokane, Washington. Do you? I just picked it. Okay, great. But here's what I know. But look, you guys, let's say he moves and he goes to Spokane, Washington, and he's in management mode. What's going to happen to his ACN business? It's not only is it done, it's not even going to start because you can't start a business in management mode. So one of the things I'm working with Ray is I'm making sure that he is very clear and understanding that in the different roles that people have, understand what is required of those roles. And it is important. It is vitally important to the success and the health of your business that you not only understand those roles, but you embrace those roles. And whatever role you are in, you have to fulfill that role to the best of your ability. And there's nothing that solves more problems in ACN than being in phase one. You have a brand new team member, a brand new recruit, a brand new group to work with. All of a sudden, all of the challenges that you had in ACN 4 days ago are like blips on a radar. They almost don't even register. You're still going to take care of those issues. You're going to work with your upline and help get those problems solved. But because you have a new focus, you have a focus on new production, new people, new excitement, new stories, new bonuses, new promotions, you will win. And that is attractive to people. It is. You guys, I did a home meeting last night, one guest, one app. Okay. So, but here's what happened. The person was afraid that their friend would go on without them, do these great things without them. And they've done a bunch of things together in the past. So this was a no-brainer. They've done all, then they listed off companies, and I thought I've heard of all of them, and I hadn't. Right? Yes, it's crazy. I've been in one network marketing company. I'm still in the same one. Now, if someone's been in a bunch of them or they've been in none of them, makes no difference if you understand the role that you need to fulfill at any point in your business. Now, the other person to talk about is Roxanne. And I'm not going to give you the details, but I am going to tell you something. So she's got some really good stuff going on. And she's got some really good people, quality people with credibility that have taken positions in the team. And what she is doing is she is pioneering into marketplaces right now that most people won't do. And I'm going to tell you why. It is inconvenient. It is not easy. It is not easy. And there is work involved. And I think what happens is sometimes people, they substitute calls like this for actual work in ACN. You guys, I've said this so many times. What we're doing right now is not ACN work. It is not. It is not. This is preparing to do the work. This is getting a game plan to do the work. Here's why I know that to be true. Here's why I know that to be true. The calls that I get from certain people about where their attention is just blows my mind. And guess why? Because there's only 2 things that pay you and 3 things that we do. There's 2 things that pay you and 3 things that we do. The 2 things that pay you are getting customers and getting a business partner and helping them get customers. That's it. That's it. That's the comp plan. The 3 things that we do are get customers, build teams, and we promote the events. That's it. That's all we do. That is the scale of the work. Now, right now, some of you are going, man, I am overcomplicating this thing. I'm making this more difficult. Some of you are going, but you don't understand my life. My life's so busy. I had to take my job back again. I had to do this with my family. Got this with my kids. Got this with my spouse. Got this with that. You guys, we all get it. We all get that. We all have some circumstances in our lives. Look, there's nobody on this call that does ACN, eats, sleeps, drinks, breathes ACN 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It's not possible. It's not possible. But you can do something every day. And the fact of the matter is, most of you don't. Most of you don't do something every day. Now, are you in trouble for that? Absolutely not. The people on my team, and speaking on behalf of Al and his leadership and the people on his team, we are grateful for every minute you put into ACN, whatever that is. If it's a 1 minute in a week, 5 minutes in a week, 10 minutes a week, 10 hours in a week, 50 hours a week, we are grateful for everything. The challenge comes when you want more out of ACN than you're willing to put in, and you're trying to you're trying to withdraw something that you have not put a deposit in. And no wonder people get frustrated. You cannot withdraw what you have not deposited. And I'm talking about the work. Is this striking a chord with anybody the day we're leaving or the day before many people are leaving to the national? Yes or no? Okay. Like, look, you guys, here's the deal. And then I got a couple things to show you, and then you'll be done with me. You got to figure out what you're modeling, right? Like, what are you modeling? What attitude are you modeling? Whose attitude are you modeling? Whose activities are you modeling? Right? Are you modeling people that have been around and are still producing? Or are you trying to get this thing figured out on your own? Like, you know, the other thing that I'll share with you about Roxanne, talking about knowing your roles. Listen up. This is so important because this happened this week. This is real life stuff. She's really good at knowing her role. Really good. This is a part of ACN that she really knows. And let me tell you what I mean. As a producing, nationally recognized regional director, she knows how to get customers. She knows how to present the business. She knows how to launch someone. She knows how to qualify someone. She knows how to promote the events. She knows the basics of the business. How crazy is it? She presented to some people. They joined the team. Guess what she did? She got them on the phone with me. So I can paint the vision of what she's doing, and I can re-edify and cross-edify her to the people so they now know who they have working for them. The conversation changed. So much so, we have one of her brand new people coming to the Lake Tahoe leadership. He owns a business. He couldn't make the arrangements so soon. But you guys, that's legitimate. So mark my words. Remember that I told you this. This gentleman who's coming to the Lake Tahoe leadership, mark my words, I'm calling the shot. We're going to blow him up. I'm telling you right now. But you know what she did? She got him on the phone with me, and guess what she did? Nothing. She let me talk to him, paint the vision, properly set some expectations for that person. That is the working relationship I have with her. And then when you do it enough times, guess what? It almost becomes unspoken. She pretty much knows what I'm going to say to the new person, unless there's some extenuating circumstances about the person's situation. She pretty much knows, and I know what's going to happen as a result of it. That is understanding and knowing your role as a regional director. The biggest asset that we all have is each other. And you need to be able to get good at using each other to help advance. But look, what you're asking for, be willing to give. And if your talents aren't at the place to be able to give what's needed, you need to get your talent level up, right? You need to get your work up, which is probably a really good place to show you two things that I'm excited for you guys to see. So I'm going to show you one, and then we're going to stop. I'm going to show you the other. So here goes.
There's a quote that I've fallen in love with. The magic you are looking for is in the work you're avoiding. Fuck, dude. The magic you are looking for is in the work you're avoiding.
I'm going to show you guys something. I was looking for some things to kind of illustrate a point that I wanted to make today, and I found this morning. Now I'm going to trip you out on something. I'm going to trip you out. I want you to look at your screen, and I want you to look at the bottom underneath all the hashtags and look who it's liked by. Look who it's liked by. My daughter. I didn't know Antonia found this quote. I didn't know Antonia saw this. Look at the bottom of that. Liked by Antonia Tarrolly. This was liked by my daughter, and I only found this morning. Do you know what that means to me as a father? Now, my daughter listened to this.
There's a quote that I've fallen in love with. The magic you are looking for is in the work you're avoiding. Fuck, dude. The magic you are looking for is in the work you're avoiding.
How many of us avoid the work that we need to do to advance our business? I don't talk to this person. I don't peak this person. Getting customers. So I had to sit down with them and make calls. Yes. beats having a job with a boss. What do you think? That's the first one. Hopefully you guys got some value out of that. Here comes the second one.
Well, you should be afraid of taking risks and pursuing something meaningful. But you should be more afraid of staying where you are if it's making you miserable. It's like the first thing you want to do is dispense with the idea that you get to have any permanent security outside of your ability to contend and adapt. It's the same issue with children. It's like you're paying a price by sitting there being miserable. And you might say, well, the devil I know is better than the one I don't. It's like, don't be so sure of that. The clock is ticking.
Yeah,
and if you're miserable in your job now and you change nothing, in 5 years you'll be much more miserable and you'll be a lot older.
But isn't it a luxury to pursue what is meaningful? Our viewers have mortgages, they have children, they have payments and loans. It's a luxury to pursue because we lack the resources.
Well, I don't remember now, I'm not talking about what makes you happy. It's a luxury to pursue what makes you happy. It's a moral obligation to pursue what you find meaningful.
To me, that is meaningful stuff. I feed on stuff like that. I feed on stuff like that. Pursuing what's meaningful, right? Happiness is another conversation. That's a luxury, right? But if you pursue something that's meaningful and that meaningful endeavor provides for you, I think you will be happy. That's my belief. If you pursue something meaningful, and how meaningful is it to be in a business where your success is predicated on your ability and willingness to help other people? And you get, and we all get the luxury of hearing a story of Jamar. He's in, he's out, going through this stuff, and he gets promoted to regional director, and now he provides proof. Anyway, that's what's on my mind, especially with us going to the national. I'm going to be on a red eye tonight, and then 2 weeks later we have Tahoe, which is going to be insane. But I guess, are we doing this next Thursday, Mr. T?
Oh, absolutely. We'll be right back after the convention. Oh, definitely. We got you down for the 26th. Oh, yeah. Right before Tahoe. So, yes, we'll be back. We'll be back. We'll have you next week.
Well,
golly,
I hope this was helpful today. You guys do motivate me to try to make sure that I find stuff that I hope will help if applied. Remember that, you guys, all of this is, here's the deal. And I'm going to shut up. All of this is great, right? All the people that come on here, all of it's great. Hopefully some of the stuff that I give you guys is helpful and it's great, but it's really only great if it's applied. It's just information if unapplied. Something I've said for years, unapplied knowledge is useless. You can be the smartest person in the room, but if there's nobody that's being impacted by what it is that you're doing, right? It's great for you, but we're in the business of helping other people and building something where we can create independence in other people and get to build something together. So I hope the things that you get, not only from me, but from Alan, from the other leaders, certainly I got to speak for myself, that the things that I share with you guys, that you're able to apply them. And that first guy is so good. God, this goes to it. It's like the magic that you're looking for is in the work you're avoiding. Oh my gosh. Anyway, well, we're not going to be avoiding it this week. It is going to be a working weekend in Orlando. I know I'm going to see a whole bunch of you there. And some of you are going from Lake Tahoe back home going to Orlando, then back home for a couple of weeks, and then the leadership in Tahoe. This is going to be an incredible 3-week window. I'm telling you right now. And Mr. T, I can't wait to see you. We're going to celebrate Jamar's promotion, which is awesome. And turn it over to you.